Danny, you say that one of the possible probable outcomes of this conflict will be an Iran that decides to race toward building a nuclear weapon. It's never done that before. It's always stopped short. It's always stayed kind of one or 2 feet before that red line. Why do you think they'll now make a dash for it?
Yeah, in order to understand that, let's a little bit do a recap on the Iranian nuclear strategy. Until 2003, Iran wanted to build a nuclear bomb. 2003, Khamenei, the father, forgo that option and actually tried to bring Iran to a threshold state on enrichment without crossing the Rubicon. He was very afraid of that. That is why he issued a fatwa, a religious order, saying that you cannot develop a nuclear bomb. When he's dead, the fatwa is dead, meaning that what we have now is young, radicalized leader, name of Mujtaba, the son, want to avenge the death of his father, his mother, his wife, his daughter, and he has behind him, he's controlled by the RGC, the most extreme element in Iran. And they see right now that they need something else in order to build the deterrence. Not missile, not everything related to Hezbollah or Shiite militias, no proxies will defend Iran in the future. They need to have the ultimate card. And with the 440 kilos for 60% that is buried in Isfahan or elsewhere, they have the ability to do so, at least reaching the fissile material of 90%. So I'm saying that the war that actually meant to prevent Iran from crossing the threshold actually might be the war that actually will push Iran beyond the threshold towards a nuclear bomb.
Danny, let me ask you this. There are reports that President Trump was given some briefings, for example, by the Defense Intelligence Agency that the Strait of Hormuz would be closed. And apparently he seems to have either not cared or not prepared adequately. But Israel has been preparing for this conflict for a long time. Israel knows specific tactical intelligence perfectly. But how is it that Israel seems to have misread the regime, misread the response? If Bibi Netanyahu did tell Donald Trump that this regime will collapse, you know, that you will have people welcoming you on the streets, how did Israel get this wrong? What explains Netanyahu's eagerness and his calculation that this regime would collapse within a day or two?
I think the problem wasn't operationally. I think the IDF and Central Command working amazing together have operation achievement that we shouldn't underestimate that. But the problem was strategically. I think Netanyahu and Trump really thought that if you decapitate Khamenei, the regime will collapse. They didn't think what will happen next. So this is why we don't have off-ramps. We don't have a strategic way out of this escalation. So I think it goes back to the flawed understanding regarding Iran. And I want to add one other thing regarding that. Intelligence-wise, you can know where the leaders are, you can know where their deputies are, but sometimes you can see the trees, but you cannot see the forest. Meaning that even if Israel has an amazing operational intelligence on Iran, I don't think that strategically we understand how the Islamic Republic is actually working, and this has led to our problematic situation right now in the war itself.